The narrative.
The narrative.
The narrative. The narrative.
The narrative.
The narrative. The narrative. Changing the narrative. An initiative powered by OPG. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Changing the Narrative podcast. Today, I have Yasmin of the YB Studio. And if you know the YB Studio, you know they have been handling our hair for some time now, really changing the game, the hair game in Ghana.
That's so sweet.
I will let Yasmin introduce herself and what she does. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Okay, so hi, I'm Yasmin. I'm the owner and the founder of the YB Studio. And the YB Studio is a modern hair and beauty studio that's based in Accra. So we have a cute little boutique salon and we deal with all things hair. So natural hair, relaxed hair, wigs, braiding, coloring. We're very, very big on hair care. That's like our thing. We love looking after our clients' hair, but we also slay when it comes to styling. So we like to feel like there's no style that we can't do. Like if you bring us the picture, then we're able to execute. So my background, yes, I'm originally from the UK, born and bred in London. I've studied hairdressing, I've studied beauty therapy, lashes, nails, eyebrows, everything hair and beauty related, but my speciality is hair, natural hair care, that sort of thing. So yeah, that's a bit about me.
I mean, that's amazing. That's essentially what we're here to talk about. We're really here to get into the nitty-gritty of hair care.
Sure.
So first of all, I want to ask, what made you fall in love with hair? What made you get into the business of hair?
I think from when I was young, I was always kind of good with hair, like playing with my dolls, playing with hair, my hair, like my siblings' hair. So I think it was more like secondary school where I was really good at cornrowing. So I'd cornrow friends' hair and then they'll tell their friends. And then that's kind of how it started. And then I think my family could see that I had a flair for hair. When I got to the age when I could start doing my own hair, I would put different colors and bubbles. My hair just always had to look some way. So I think that's when
No, I get that.
You get it, right? You're having a special day at
you need
school.
to jazz it out.
Yeah. I think my earliest memory was we were having something at school where we can wear our own clothes, and then I remember I twisted my hair to the side, and then I had some cornrows on here, and then I cornrowed some purple hair into the cornrows on the side. And I was like, oh my god, I love your hair. And I was just like, oh, okay. And then quite early on, I figured out how to, because with natural hair, when you wash your hair, a lot of the time it's curly. But then by the time it dries, you've lost the curls.
Yeah.
So from an early age, I don't know how I managed to figure out how to get the curls to stay. So that was a game changer. I'll go to school and then my hair's curly. And then we was doing these baby hairs back in the time when I was in secondary school. So it's crazy that we still do it.
Oh, I know the baby hairs you're talking about.
Yeah, baby hairs has been around in the UK, especially for a long time. So yeah, so from teenage. Yeah. So as soon as I left school, I went straight to college to study beauty, then hairdressing, and then that's just what it's been ever since. I've actually never done anything else apart from this. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really, really amazing. I know that one thing that you do at the YB Studio is to educate us on hair care and healthy hair.
Yeah.
Right? So for you, how will you define healthy hair?
I mean, first of all, healthy hair is hair that you look in the mirror and you feel happy and accepting with, Because healthy hair is different for everybody. I feel like sometimes we put unfair expectations on ourselves. So especially in the salon, somebody will come with a picture, I want my wash and go to look just like this, but your curl pattern is not the same as this picture. So we do a lot to kind of manage expectations and also make people fall in love with the hair that they actually have. So we will give you a style recommendation that will work with your hair type and just let you understand that this is the hair, that this is how your hair grows out of your head. So people come and they're like, oh, my hair is thin. I hate when people say that. My hair is thin, my hair is light, my hair is. No, you have a fine hair texture. And that's just how your hair grows out of your head. Like,
You know what? I get you because I think for me, for the longest time, I felt like, oh, my hair is hard because it's like really like kinky and very coily. So for
yeah,
the longest time, oh, my hair is hard, my hair is hard. But I think there was one time I actually came by your salon and I saw what you guys did to my hair, and I was like, okay, this is this. My hair is hard. My hair is hard. I need to throw it away.
yeah, exactly. It's about learning how to work with your hair texture. So, like, if you have a
Right.
more kinky, coarse texture, like you do, you have to work in sections. You can't just put a comb and just be dragging it through your hair. You have to work in sections and you have to apply a medium that's going to help to soften your hair when you're detangling. So, it's definitely through education and then unlearning a lot of things. I feel like in Ghana, hairstylists really put a lot of bad like complexes into their client's hair and then they carry it forever. So then
Right.
they come into the salon with the ideas of, oh, well, my stylist told me that my hair is light, or my stylist told me that my hair is hard. So they carry that with them. So when they come and then we give them such like a seamless experience, they're like, oh, but I thought my hair was, so yeah, it's a lot of
Yeah.
education, a lot of education.
That's really amazing. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about. So I know this might sound crazy, but then there's a perception whereby this like relaxed hair is better than natural hair.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to know your view on this. What do you have to say about this? Because I do think that both hair, should I say textures, like there's nothing wrong with that. But then I mean, since you're the hair expert here, I will let you talk on this.
There's no such thing as this is better than this and this is better than that. How can something be better than something? Like, it's
Right.
all hair, and a relaxer is a treatment that is placed on hair to make it straight. So there's no such
Right.
thing as this is better than that. Both have their pros and cons. When you relax your hair and you put a chemical, if you do not look after it, your hair is going to break with a relaxer. If you have
That's
natural
it.
hair, there's no chemicals, but you are not treating, you're not combing your hair properly, and you're ripping your hair out, your hair's gonna break. So, like, both of them require hair care and maintenance. So there's no a relaxer might be better for an individual, like, oh, this works with my lifestyle. I'm busy, I go to the gym, I go to work, I have kids, I don't really have time to do a lot to my hair. So a relaxer is better for me, but a relaxer is not better than natural hair, and natural hair is not better than a relaxer. That's the bottom
I
line.
mean, thank you so much
That's
for
it.
clearing this misconception because I feel like this is something that most of us have actually carried with us from like a really young age. Because
Yeah.
I feel like even though we've had, okay, well, for me, I've had my natural hair when I was young up until a certain age and then it got relaxed.
Yeah.
And it seemed easier to manage. So in my
Yeah.
mind, for like, and also with hairstylists at the time, in my mind, it seemed like, oh, the relaxed hair is much better
Mm,
and all that. I mean, thank you so much for like clearing that misconception because I think a lot of us need to understand that it's
nah.
all about hair care and
It's
none of that is better.
all
And like you said,
mhm.
depending on the lifestyle, right?
It's
So I
all
think
depending
that's
on your
amazing.
lifestyle. Yeah, there's nothing that's better
Yes,
than anything. All hair is beautiful, and it's about how you nurture it. That's it. If you nurture it, and
right.
you, the thing is, sometimes we're really harsh with our hair. It's like, I hate my hair. Oh, my hair is so this. Like, how is your hair gonna respect you when you don't even respect your own hair? Like, it
When you have such a terrible relationship with it.
right. Why is it now suddenly going to start growing out of your hair so nice and so luscious when you talk horrible about your hair? Like,
Yeah.
you have to treat your hair like a baby. Like, this is my crown, and I love you just the way you
Hmm.
are, and I'm gonna nurture you. And
Tell us.
yeah, like, it's a lifestyle. Like, it really, really is a lifestyle. people just expect to wake up with amazing hair. Some people, yeah, it happens. But it's like everything. When you go to work, you nurture your job until you get to the position you want. When you go to
Definitely,
school, you
yes.
study till you get the grades you want. Like, it's the same with your hair. You have to put time and effort into it to get the results that you're looking for.
Yeah. I mean, thank you so much. Like, you're right. I do agree with you. Another thing I want to talk about, since we're on the topic of nurturing our hair,
Yeah.
maintaining your hair, like, taking care of your hair, especially say, after you've come to the salon and you've gone like treatment and now it's time for like home care. I want to know this. There are a lot of products on the market, and sometimes it can be so confusing. Like, where do you start from? Especially with natural hair for like some time now. There's so many steps to take and so many products to use. Like, what do you have to say about that? How do we do home care like without having to feel like we're doing the most and it not being like a tedious process?
Okay, so there's many different ways you can go about this. First of all, I would say it is important to have a salon that you trust and a professional that you trust because there are some
Like the
things
YB studio?
like the YB studio. I wasn't trying to plug, but this is really honestly, it's important that you have a professional that you trust. So you're going in at least once a month or every 6 weeks to have like your in salon treatments. That person
Right.
is a professional and they are trained to give you advice on aftercare and home care. So when they give you that advice, it makes it more easier. They can give you product recommendations. So for your hair type, I would recommend you use this, and this. If we're talking about products specifically, I always say it's important to have at least these three products in your range. You need a leave-in conditioner, you need a hair moisturizer, and like a very light oil or serum to seal your hair. These are three really important products. If you're someone who does their hair at home by themselves, then you definitely need a clarifying shampoo. Because what a clarifying shampoo does is it removes all the buildup of the products that you've been using in the week. Then you need a moisturizing shampoo to actually cleanse your hair, and then a deep conditioner. So those three for like your washing your hair, and then the other three for maintaining your hair during the week. If you do not have access to a professional stylist, people have a lot of bad things to say about YouTube, and there is a very bad side to YouTube, but there's also a good side to YouTube as well because there's such a huge range of people. You can definitely watch their videos, and you can be like, do you know what? Her hair texture is actually just like mine. So if she's using this product and it's working for her, and I can see the results, then you can give it a go. So that's another way of finding products that work for you.
Right.
So I would definitely say the first point of call is a professional. Let a professional recommend products to you. But if you can't have access to a professional, watch some YouTube videos, get a girl who has a similar texture and try out the same products. Yeah.
I mean, that's great. I think that's amazing advice, and thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Another thing I want to delve in is the diversity of natural hair.
Okay.
Now, let me tell you, I think the first time I actually came upon your page was when I saw you do the half up, half down on like 4C hair. And I was like, girl, you were joking. Like, is this possible? And I mean, we've known that, yeah, our natural hair is very diverse. We can do quite a number of hairstyles, but for certain hairstyles, like the half a pop down, like certain sleek hairstyles, it just seemed like, okay, that's just not possible. And I would like for you to talk about the diversity of our natural hair. Like, how are you able to like achieve these hairstyles? How can we break the stigma of, okay, you can actually enjoy your hair in these ways, and not be limited to our usual twist style and the hem rods and whatnot?
Natural hair is like the most diverse thing I can imagine. When it comes to hair, natural hair is the most diverse. Like you can have an afro puff, you can have defined curls, your hair can be bone straight, you can have a blowout, you can have braids, you can do half a pump down. Like there is actually nothing that you can't do with natural hair. So that stigma needs to be broken. And the way technology is going now, Like, you can actually do styles and it's not permanent. So like a texture release, for instance. A texture release is a smoothing hair treatment where you come, we put the treatment on, we blow dry, we straighten your hair looks really nice, like a silk press. You wash your hair and your hair is back to being natural. Like no commitment, no strings attached. It's not like a relaxer where it's like, okay, this is it. If I don't like it, I have to cut it off. So
Right.
natural hair is so versatile. But I think it is up to us, the stylists, to be educated because as well, a lot of stylists have an old school mentality. So all they know how to do is a relaxer or a ponytail or a roller set. They're not keeping up to date with the latest trends to know what you can actually do with natural hair and how to do it safely as well. Because there's a difference doing something to somebody's hair, but doing it safely. So back in the day with the silk presses, yeah, you give them a silk press, but they have a ton of heat damage. And they have the heat damage because you've put grease in their hair and you've literally fried the hair. So with education, you know that you don't need to put any grease. With us, products, less is more. We do not use too much products. Like we are not that. Oh, can you grease my scalp? We don't grease scalps at the YB studio. Like we do not grease scalps. We have a YB oil that we use, and we have a lotion as well. But to get grease and grease your scalp, we're not going to grease your scalp. So it's about staying up to date with all the latest technologies, treatments, to know how you can safely do stuff with natural hair. And natural hair is so versatile. I love it. I love it. Yeah.
That's amazing. You did mention that you're not going to grease the scalp,
Yes.
but then how do you, for someone say who has like a dry scalp, like how will this person take care of their scalp? You know, once like you have the silk press in, and like how do you take care of it basically?
Okay, so people really are scared of washing their hair, you know? Like, our scalp is like the fertile ground for healthy hair. And just like when you water plants or you have like land that you're trying to, grow stuff on, you need to water it. So, and oftentimes when something is dry, it needs moisture. So either you need to wash your hair more often, or there's a lotion. You can use a lotion that's gonna moisture because your scalp is an extension of the skin on your face. That's basically what it is. It's all skin all the way to the back, but it's skin that has hair follicles and it's covered by your hair. So it can get dry and itchy. So you need to make sure that you're washing your hair often. You need to make sure that what you're actually putting into your body is healthy. So you're eating your veg, you're drinking your water, you're taking your supplements if you need to. And then you can apply, like we have a YB oil, which is safe for the scalp, a really light oil that's actually going to moisturize the scalp and not sit on the scalp. Because there's a difference between dry scalp and dandruff. Okay? So dandruff is an overproduction of oil on your scalp. Dry scalp is just like, it's like sandy, your scalp is just dry.
Flaky.
Yeah, exactly. So if you have dandruff and you're applying heavy products to already the scalp that is already congested, you're going to make it worse. And you're just going to carry on with the cycle. So it's about using the correct products on your scalp to combat the dry scalp. Yeah.
What about taking care of like your silk press, you know?
Okay.
Because, you know, sometimes, how long can that last for though? Because sometimes, just sometimes, you get like a really nice silk press and it's like, okay, this didn't last that long. Like, on a general note, how long is a silk press supposed to last for? How can you keep a silk press for it to last for like a long time?
Okay. So at YB, we give all of our clients who book a silk press, you will get a disclaimer before we even start.
Okay.
Yeah, before we even
Okay.
start. Your silk press can last 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week, or 1 month. That's out of
Wow.
our control. Yeah, it's out of our control. There's so many variables as to what can make your silk press last or not last. But the one thing that's against us in Ghana is humidity. Ghana is
Okay.
extremely humid, and our hair loves moisture. So especially if you have hair that's porous or hair that's not so healthy that you don't treat often, as soon as it gets some moisture, it's trying to suck it all in, and then your hair is reverting. On the flip side
Okay.
of that as well, if your hair is healthy, as soon as healthy hair comes into contact with moisture, it's gonna revert. That's a normal process. So there's so
Right.
many different factors. It's about your hair type, the condition that your hair is in, the weather, whether you treat your hair often or not. So a silk press doesn't have a time. When I silk press my hair in Ghana, sometimes an hour later, that silk press is a wrap. It's a wrap. If I silk press,
She's like, it's a wrap.
it's a wrap. Like I got my pictures and then it's done. That hair is frizzing up. If I silk press my hair here in the UK, my hair will be straight until I wash my hair. So if I don't wash my hair for 2 months, my hair will be silk pressed for 2 months. So
Wow.
it really depends on so many different things. So I don't really like to give, oh, your silk press is gonna last this long, and then by the evening you're calling me that I just got home and my silk press hasn't lasted. So we always
Right.
give that disclaimer. 99% of the time, clients still will do it because they want to see what their hair looks like straight, and they want to have a good trim as well. So they like to have their hair blown out and straightened so they can have a good trim. If it lasted an hour, it lasted an hour. And when it reverts, it doesn't revert exactly back to its original texture. It's more like a blown out sort of revert. So they still
Oh,
enjoy
okay.
it being stretched, but yeah, it's not going to be bone straight. That's why we have texture. That's why we have the texture release. Texture release is amazing because it helps to um, make your silk press last longer. So we really do like the texture release for that. Yeah.
Texture release has become like really popular. Has it always been around, or is this like a new treatment that has just emerged out of like
It's not
the
new,
blue?
to be honest. Texture release, from my knowledge, has been around at least 5 years. I could say
Okay.
at least 5 years. But I would say in the past 2 years is when it has actually become extremely popular. Popular
Right.
because bloggers started doing it. And when bloggers start doing things, then everybody else starts doing
Definitely.
things. And then it starts to ripple, then everybody else knows about texture release. But I've personally known about the texture release for about 5 years. Yeah.
But I mean, it seems like a really great hair treatment, especially for people with very coily hair, just to help with maintaining the hair. Is this a treatment you would really recommend to like people to do in order for like, especially for people that are very that find it hard to maintain their hair in its like most coily um
Absolutely. Like,
state?
I think the texture release is one of the most amazing treatments that was invented for Afro textured hair. Honestly, kudos to Avalon for creating the texture release. It's actually the amino acid treatment. So there are other brands that have a similar treatment, but the most popular one that we know about is the texture release, which is by Avalon. Um, I recommend it 100% because it actually does make your hair more manageable. Your blow dries will be quicker, washing your hair will be quicker. You'll be able to retain moisture more because your hair is less dense and kinky. So honestly, we've had like all good feedback on the texture release, but it has to be done
That's
by a
amazing.
professional. Like, I will say that because it does require the treatment and it requires a lot of heat. So if you're doing it yourself and you're not using the correct, it's not even available to buy for personal use anyway, but people always
Right.
find a way of getting their hands on
Find a
stuff.
way.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
it has to be done by a professional because like we're doing 5 to 7 passes on each parting of hair with the texture release treatment. So if you're not using like a correct heat protector, then you can definitely give yourself heat damage. So should be done by a professional.
Amazing. I know taking care of our hair is a form of self care. And I know you are really into self-care. So I wanted to ask, what is self-care to you?
To me, self-care is just doing anything that makes me happy. That's it.
Okay.
It's
Point
not,
blank.
yeah, point
Period.
blank. It's not what's gonna make my mum happy or my friends happy or my boyfriend happy or my dog happy. Self-care, self-care is you taking a moment to do what makes you happy. That's what self-care is. And self-care is different for everybody. Somebody's self-care is taking a long walk. That's my self-care moment. Someone's self-care is, do you know what? I want to go to a salon and just have my hair done. I want to have my hair washed by somebody else. That's a
Yeah,
form of self-care. So to me, self-care is taking some time out of your life, your week, your schedule to just have some time for yourself, doing something that makes you happy.
that's amazing. Before we go on, I like to play a game of favorites and this or that with my guests.
Okay.
So I call it the CTM game of favorites
Okay.
and this or that. But then this will be the hair edition.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask you for a few questions and then you let me know
Okay.
what your choices are.
Okay,
Okay.
sure.
So micro links or wigs?
Microlinks.
That
Microlinks.
was like a no-brainer.
Yeah, definitely. I was like, why am I thinking about this? Oh my gosh, microlinks. Yeah, 100% microlinks. Yeah,
So would you go for a silk press or twist out?
silk press for me. Oh, that's hard though, because I do a lot of twist outs as well. Like, you can't compare the two. They're two different styles. If I want to have like a big
No, but
fluffy,
you have to pick one.
okay, I love a silk press, so I'll go for a silk press. Yeah, I'll go for a silk press.
Okay, great. Would you pick air drying over blow drying?
Blow drying, blow drying. Medium heat on a blow dry. I feel like this is something so huge that I've had to educate my clients on because the natural hair
Yeah,
community tells you to air dry your hair. So then they air dry their hair and then the hair is like a rock. And then they can't comb it and then it hurts and then it's breaking. Whereas if you had just put your blow dry on a medium heat and then blow dried your hair a little bit, it would have been so much more manageable and you would have had less pain and less breakage. So yeah, blow dry.
okay, that's good to know. Okay, so would you go for stitch cornrow braids or would you go for knotless braids?
Not less braids. But that's just personal on
Amazing.
me. I've done stitch cornrows. I don't feel like they suit me, but I love knotless
Okay.
braids. I always do knotless braids, so knotless braids. Yeah.
Okay. So the last one, switching up your hair with color or like, keeping it simple with its natural, like with your natural hair color.
If you know me, if you know me, even just today, I was researching my next color. I'm a color junkie. Like I will always have color in my hair. I've had pink, I've had blue, I've blonde, brown. I will always have color, but everyone's different. It's an expression of your personality.
Definitely.
I know people who will never
Definitely.
do a weave or tracks or a wig with color. It has to be black. I need my hair jet black.
Yeah.
So it's it depends on the person. But me, I love color. Like I need color. Yeah. So 100% color for me.
That's really amazing. Okay, so I want to ask you, what are certain stigmas, natural hair stigmas you would like to break, like you would like people to break away from? That's if you have any.
Natural hair is messy, unprofessional, unkept. Like I
Yeah,
hate that. I hate that, which I feel like it's changing, but
definitely is.
it's changing. But that's been a stigma that's been around for a long time. Like you work in a professional corporate setting and you feel like you have to wear a wig to work every day because your natural
Right.
hair is not straight and falling down on your shoulders. Like that's wrong. There's a ton of professional natural hairstyles out there that just with a little bit of research, you can go to work and rock your natural hair and look and feel amazing. So that's one
Right.
stigma that I want to break about natural hair. I was going to say natural hair is hard to manage as being a stigma, but as time has gone on, I've actually changed my view on that because
Okay.
it's true. Sometimes natural hair can be hard to manage. So that's the truth of it. Like sometimes you wake up in the morning and your hair is just all over the place, and you have to dedicate time, section your hair, put the product, twist it, sleep with it, let it dry, pick it. Like it takes time and steps. So
Yeah.
for some people, it's not just a get up and go because the way your hair is dense, how you slept is how you're gonna wake up with it.
Yeah.
You're
The
gonna
way it's set up.
exactly. So it kind of be difficult to manage. That's the truth. Like that's my opinion. It can be like your arm will be hurting and like it can be difficult to manage. So
I mean, this is why we have the texture release now.
exactly. Just do even a texturizer. Honestly, even a texturizer, as old school as it is, a texturizer helps a lot of people. Sometimes you need just a little bit of relaxer in your hair just to loosen your curl a little bit, wash it out, and then your hair is a little bit more maintainable. So there's things out there to help us with our natural hair. Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. Thank you so much for your time, Yasmin. It's been
You're
incredible talking
welcome.
to you
Thanks for
about
having
natural
me.
hair and also giving us, your views on the topic of natural hair. I cannot wait to come back to the salon for like my
Yeah,
next
I feel
appointment.
like we haven't seen you in a bit, but I know that I'm not there all the time. So I'm sure you've been coming and I haven't been there yet.
Yeah, I have been in and out. I have been in and out, but I definitely need to go to, to get a treatment. I have never actually done the texture release. I've been
Okay.
contemplating on it. So I think I will probably do that just to see how it's like.
Yeah.
And if I like it, I think I'm stuck.
Most people
But
that have
thank you
done
so
it,
much.
they always come back. But yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for tuning into the Changing the Narrative podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, do me a favor and like, share, and subscribe to the Changing the Narrative podcast.